The Zeliangrong people are one of the indigenous Mongoloid communities living in the northeastern states of Manipur, Nagaland, and Assam. The term Zeliangrong is a composite name given to the three tribes of the Nagas: Zeme, Liang Mai, Rong Mai, including Pui Mai, who are believed to be from the same ethnic group.
là càng thôi làm tình phía trước đây là càng quay thơ càng gáy thơ hơi hậu dạy thâu càng thâu.
Zeliangrong are included in the Naga-Bodo group, and they belong linguistically to Tibeto-Burman group and ethnically to Mongoloid stock. They are characterized by yellow and brown skin color, straight and dark hair, flat nose, prominent cheekbones, and almond-shaped eyes with epicantic fall. They do not have body hair, and their lips are sometimes fine and sometimes very thick. Their stature is moderate in comparison to other Mongoloid people. The ancestry of the Zeliangrong people is embedded in their common legends, linguistic, social and cultural affinities, and folklores of the tribe. The origin and migration of the Zeliangrong is based on the traditional legends, folk tales and folk songs. They are the descendants of the same ancestors who founded the great Makuilongdi village, which is considered to be the cradle of Zeliangrong culture and custom. They believe and share a common belief that they originally emerged out of a mythical cave, Mahau Taubay. In due course of time, they settled at Makhel, then to Ramtingkabing and Chawang Phongning, and then to Makuilongdi in Senapati districts of Manipur. The ancestors of Zeliangrong live at Makuilongdi for a long time. Then they disperse towards different regions, the south, the west, and the north. Every Zeliangrong festivals is marked by the productions of new fire, either by frictions of wood and bamboo or friction of the flint. Mairapmai is carried out in the belief that if foods are cooked by the new fire, there will be a long life and prosperity of the coming year. Another significance is that man will be as strong as fire. The Zeliangrong possesses the skill of making different kinds of handicrafts. The skills of craftsmen is hereditary, which is handed down from one generation to another. The religious ceremonies, annual cultural festivals, beautiful dances, ho-hoing, yellings, and diversely classified songs have immensely enriched the Zeliangrong culture. These practices were evolved over the ages and perfected with the passage of time through continual practices, and they were handed down through oral traditions from time immemorial to these present generations. Some of the specialties of Zeliangrong people is the yelling. This yelling has a room in the custom, culture, and way of life of the Zelengrongs. The yellings is an integral part of the Zeliangrong culture. There are 5 types of typical yellings of the Zeliangrong. Most of this yelling is practiced by the men folk, and women are prohibited from doing so, except in the case of kahimay yelling. The 5 types of yellings are kagyakmay, kabaumay, kahomay, kahimay, and zammay. The kagyakmay is also one of the yelling which is exclusively yelled by the men folk only. This typical yelling is usually used in time of joyous moment as an expression of joy and happiness. It is also used at the times of facing great challenges. The kabauma yelling is practiced for various purposes at different situations, like, for example, during the oath-taking competitions between 2 opponent groups. The kahomay yelling has been practiced since time immemorial. It is practiced with the belief that a comforting message can be passed through this particular yelling to the deceased person. The kahima yelling is neither in the form of a song or speech, but it is a typical outburst of nostalgic feeling, which is mostly melancholic in nature. The Zammai yelling is one of the yellings which is usually yells at the times of victory over man or beast, which is accompanied with the dance of joy. Like other tribes, headhunting was in vogue among the Zeliangrong. They had a strong belief in the value of human heads. They believed that the practice of head hunting and the possession of head brought wealth and prosperity to the village. The social status of an individual was fathomed by the number of heads that he hunted down. To them, taking an enemy's head and flaunting his bravery would not only bring him prestige, honor, and fame, but in killing an enemy, he was doing good for the village, in fact, for the survival of the village.
Oh, Jumbo! Jumbo! Oh, Jumbo! Oh, Jumbo! Oh, Jumbo! Oh, Jumbo! Oh, Jumbo! Oh,
The rich Zeliangrong culture and traditions, which is admired by other tribal communities of Northeast India, is now in the dying stage, as fewer people practice them in shrinking numbers of social domains. These documentations will give a panoramic view of the Zeliangrong culture and traditions, as it will help in preserving the dying culture for future generations. In the absence of written record, the rich heritage of our Zeliangrong forefather should not be abandoned but preserved by us. Only then the imported new rule and values of Western culture would be less important in the Zeliangrong society of today. Therefore, the Zeliangrong people should not discard their custom and traditions, but rather they should have a healthy attitude toward their cultural values of their tribe.